And then you could use that money to actually train your campaign staff. Now, I'm not alleging that that's happening, but I think it's important that Ms. Chow come clean and reveal the list of the donors so that we know that everything's kosher.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto, and I'm on the campus of Ryerson University, or whatever they call it, and I'm with Rob Davis. He is one of 67 candidates running for mayor, but unlike so many, Mr. Davis has actually been elected to positions of power in the past. And the reason why we're here is that, Mr. Davis, I understand you have serious concerns about a charity that is run by another candidate, namely Olivia Chow. What is this charity all about, and what are your concerns, sir?
Well, the name of the charity is called Change Leaders, and its sole purpose is to train people in political campaigning. The challenge that I have with that is that it's a charity that's accepting donations, presumably from big business or big money or big unions. And if so, it might be a way around the municipal election laws. In other words, unions and businesses in foreign countries are not allowed to donate to a municipal campaign. Only individuals are. But if somebody wanted to get smart with the rules, they would set up a charity and have unions and big business and anybody else, could be offshore, donate money, and then you could use that money to actually train your campaign staff. Now, I'm not alleging that that's happening, but I think it's important that Ms. Chow come clean and reveal the list of the donors so that we know that everything's kosher.
And Rob, have you reached out to Olivia Chow or anyone else involved with this particular charity?
I've done two things. Number one, I put out a press release a number of weeks ago, so it was in the public realm. But then I thought, let me formally ask her because, this is a legal question. It's not show business for ugly people, as it were. This matters. This matters because we want to preserve our democracy. So I wrote a letter to Ms. Chow. I sent it to the Institute for Change Leaders, which is located here on the university formerly known as Ryerson.
Okay.
And I've knocked on the door a couple times in the past 2 weeks. There's been no answer. So I sent an email in the hopes that she'll respond and explain why she was able, or how, or where she got $564,000 in 2021 for her charity, which is up from the reported receipts the year before.
That's astonishing. You sent me these financials,
Yes.
And that huge uptick in the space of a year. Now, maybe, to play devil's advocate, a lot of people looked at the charity, they said, this is worthy of my support, but it is a humongous leap. And again, we have to ponder, where is this money coming from?
Well, in the last couple of weeks, we've heard so many revelations about the Trudeau Foundation.
Yes.
2 years ago, we had the We charity and the We for Profit organization. And, I think when politicians get involved with charities, you have to have more disclosure than you normally would. Because politicians wield a lot of influence and a lot of power. And if they leverage their power to generate donations, that's just not right for me, and I think taxpayers and voters think that they have a problem with that as well.
Right, and if you believe the polls, Olivia Chow is the current front runner. I don't know if those polls are believable, and certainly with a field of 67 people, you could potentially see someone with a single-digit percentage become the mayor of Toronto. I don't know if that's likely or not, but I mean, if there's any shenanigans here, this would be an advantage for her, would it not?
It would be an unfair advantage because, again, unions are not allowed to donate, businesses aren't allowed to donate, other organizations are not allowed to donate. The Municipal Elections Act is very clear. Only individuals are allowed to contribute to a municipal campaign. This would essentially be an end run around those rules if those folks are working on her campaign, if the purpose of training them was to work on her campaign. And again, I'm not alleging that that's the case, but I think it's important that Ms. Chow come clean. She explain every single donation, and we need to understand, are those people who were trained, are they now working on her campaign? Are they being paid to work on her campaign by this charity? I think those are questions that taxpayers need to know the answer.
Indeed, and I see you have CC'd this letter to various people. And have you had any feedback, Rob, from that?
Not yet, anything from them, and that's understandable. They're just CC'd. It's not directed to them. Okay. But I wanted to put them on notice because I think it's important that that the Chief Electoral Officer for the province of Ontario, the Municipal Affairs Minister, the City Clerk, they need to understand that there may be some loopholes in their rules that allow people to get away with breaking the rules, as it were, breaking the spirit of the rules.
And that's not right. I mean, whether it's a 2-person race or a 67-person race, you want a level playing field.
Absolutely. So there are 67 people who've plunked down their $200, put their lives on hold, are raising money, campaigning. They want to know that they have a fair shot. They don't want somebody putting their hand on the scales. And they want to make sure that all the rules are followed, because our democracy depends on it. We don't want foreign interference. We don't want big money interference. We don't want big union interference. The only interference we want are from people who are actually eligible to vote and eligible to donate.
And of course, Rob, we will reach out to the Olivia Chow campaign and the charity. And as a matter of fact, that is the very reason we are here on the campus of the university formerly known as Ryerson. You suggested maybe, since we're here, why don't we go door knocking and see if anyone at the charity wants to come on camera?
It's election time. Let's door knock.
Okay, let's go, my friend.
Do you know if anyone's in?
I cannot tell you. The only people who would be able to gain access are the people who would.
Okay. Does that doorbell actually work, do you think, or is... Let me try it.
And you've tried that number before, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay, then. All right, well...
Well, the lights are on, but it doesn't look like anybody's home.
Jeez. Well, we did try, folks, but like I said, we will reach out via phone, email, text, what have you, and speak to the Olivia Chow campaign. But that's too bad we couldn't get any on-camera interaction.
I wonder if I deliver it this way. There we go. Look at that.
What do you account for all this security?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of questions.
Okay, then.
Maybe they're afraid of democracy. Maybe they're afraid of sunshine.
Okay.
I think sunshine and sunlight is the best disinfectant. Look, we have a problem in this country, and the problem is that we don't have our guard up when it comes to possible foreign interference. We just found out recently that a member of Parliament's family was targeted in another country, and he was never informed about it. I'm really concerned that we not be naive about the access that we might be giving, or the open door that we're giving for somebody to influence the outcome. And people say, well, why would China care about this, or why would Russia care about this? Well, I got to tell you, the Russian government sanctioned John Tory because he supported Ukraine. So they care. They care very much, because Toronto's a big city. We have a large community of people from other countries. And so what happens here in Toronto affects what happens, back home.
Well, Rob, I want to appreciate your time. And you know what, folks? I don't think this is a partisan issue. I don't think this is a left or right issue. There's 67 candidates at the post. All we want is a fair race. And we have to do our due diligence to make sure that indeed happens. So stay tuned. More on this story to come for sure. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, we know you love Rebel News to bring you the other side of the story. Indeed, do you see any mainstream media at so many of the events that we do cover? But we need your help. Please go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you can, kindly make a donation.